Hello, hello, welcome to everyone joining. It's great to see you. Thank you for being here.
Hey Sarah, it's great to see you
It's
again.
great to see you. How are you?
And Doreen, I'm good. I just spoke with Maya and I want to extend my apologies in advance. I have an emergency that I would have to leave before the end of the session, which I don't like, but there's no way I would have missed talking to the both of you. So thank you again for the opportunity.
Oh,
Oh,
well,
thank
we'll miss you, but
you.
thank you for being here.
Thank you for joining.
Of course. I
Mhm.
wouldn't miss it for the world.
Cool. Well, it is 6 sharp, and I am Swiss. So I do like to start on time, but probably there will be more people joining on the way. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. Well, we call it a workshop because it's going to be super interactive. And before I start, I just wanted to say that I'm recording the session in case some people want to watch the recording or people who ended up like missing out the live session. And just for you to know, there are going to be some breakout rooms, but they're not going to be recorded. So when you speak, you're not going to be recorded. And yeah, that's just as a heads up. So to introduce myself, I guess most of you don't know me yet because I'm quite new also at Sudor. I recently joined as head of marketing and partnerships about 2 months ago. And a few sentences about me. I spent six years at Google before joining. That's actually how I know Sarah. And at Google, I was working in sales. I was working very in the Swiss team first and then the Israeli team, working with our largest businesses from tech unicorns like Fiverr and Wix or Monday.com to global brands like Breitling, and I was helping them with their marketing strategies. And yeah, after 6 years, I felt like it's time for a break. It's time for something new. So I actually took a year off, and I think Sarah more or less at the same time also left Google and she went into coaching. And yeah, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? So I took the opportunity to join one of Sarah's workshops at the time, also about like brand identity. And it completely blew my mind and it was so incredibly helpful. And yeah, eventually it kind of landed me the job at Sudor, where I'm now. And for those that don't know Sudor, our main mission is to empower creators and entrepreneurs to really like build and grow their business by having their own app and their own platform. And I mean, I've worked a lot with YouTube. Sarah was a former YouTube director and worked a lot with like the most successful YouTubers globally. So YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all incredible platforms. But in the end of the day, you are kind of like working on borrowed land. And like our goal is really to keep you doing all of that, but also take the power back and start building your own platform, your own app, where you own the data, where you own the audience and the content. So that's a little bit about Sudor. And today I'm super pleased to have Sarah Tate on board because we do know that many of our creators, they often struggle with like, okay, where do I even start? Who am I? How do I position myself in a way that is authentic and true to myself? Because we all know that when we're trying to sell something that we're not, or a product that we don't believe in, it's flipping hard. So today is really all going to be about building a brand that is true to yourself. And once you have that, you can work from there and you can build from there and scale from there. And we're going to show you also a few examples of creators that have built really successful apps with us and how they've done it. And yeah, stay until the end. We are going to share, for those who are ready to build their own app, a little exclusive goodie, basically. So yeah, stay tuned for that. And I'm going to hand over to Sarah.
Hi, everyone. It's great to see you. Wonderful to be with you today. And I'm going to start in Sarah fashion with a story. So in 2023, a couple of years ago, I had been working for Google and then YouTube, as Doreen said, with creators, and I had a senior leadership position, and it was a really safe job, and the people were wonderful, and the work was interesting, but I'd had this itch to start my own business, and to become a coach, to work with business leaders and help them kind of develop their effectiveness as leaders. I'd had that itch for kind of 10 years, and it was finally time to do it. So I fearfully thought, I'm going to do my first ever LinkedIn post, and I'm going to announce, I'm just going to tell my story about how I've come to this conclusion that I want to launch my business, and why it is, and why it's important to me, and why I'm excited about it. And my goal was really, I'm just going to let as many people in my network know that I'm doing it as possible, and I'm going to start from there. I'm going to see what happens. So I did my first ever LinkedIn post. I took a deep breath. I got over myself and my reticence about it, and I pressed post, and with this kind of simple story of what I was about and why I was doing this and why my heart was in it and how I'd made the decision to start my business. And that post went, I mean, not high level viral, guys, it went low level viral, I would say. It got hundreds of thousands of impressions, and it resonated with the business community, which I wanted to resonate with. And all of a sudden, everyone from my network for all through my career, and I'd had a 25 year career up to that point, people came out of the woodwork that I didn't remember, but they remembered me. They'd experienced me in some way. And I had a ton of meetings with people who were interested in my coaching services from that one post. And one meeting really stuck with me. I had one meeting and I joined, and I had never met him before. He was a guy, a mid-career guy, and he said, look, I'm here because you know my sister. And I was like, oh, right. How do I know your sister? And he said, you interviewed her for a job 10 years ago. And I was like, wow. Had no I used to interview 5 people a week at Google. I was quite a prolific interviewer, so I don't remember everyone I interviewed. And I didn't remember her name, actually. And he said, and you actually rejected her. She didn't get the job. You rejected her for an interview 10 years ago. And I was like, oh, wow. And then I was like, so how does that lead you here? Tell me more. And he was like, well, she asked you for feedback, and she asked you to take 5 minutes for feedback, and you did, which in itself was unusual. And you gave her some advice in that 5 minutes that was so impactful to her that it led her to getting her next job. She got the next interview because of the advice that you gave her in those 5 minutes. And that's why as soon as she saw that you were a coach, she told me to reach out to you, because she said this advice was so powerful for her. And that was a real wake-up moment for me, because I'd never really, to that point, like, I'd focused on having a good reputation at work, and I'd focused on doing a good job. But I hadn't quite realized until that moment, like, what a personal brand was. And that was something I didn't even remember. And I certainly hadn't been intentional about. I was just trying to be helpful. I just think it's the right thing to do. But actually, it really led me to think, good golly, every single experience anyone has of me, even if they're tiny to you, even if I go away and have a coffee afterwards and forget about it, every single time someone experiences you at work, that in some way contributes to your personal brand. And what your personal brand is really just how other people are experiencing you. And that can be really small micro experiences, like watching one video, reading one post, having 5 minutes after an interview, even having a chat with you in the queue for the coffee when they recognize you. Those tiny experiences, and the sum of them, make up your personal brand. And I was like, there were 2 things. The first one was that came to life for me then. My brand is built every time I interact with someone. My brand is built. And now that I'm owning my brand, and my brand is synonymous with my business, because I'm a solo operator. I know many of you are the same. I'm a solo business owner running a one-person business. My personal brand is the same as my business, and it's built every time at every interaction I have, online and offline. And the second thing I came to realize was that people are using my service, and they're coming to me because they're investing in my brand in some way, and they're relating to my brand in some way. And that was, I knew that it would be important, but I didn't know that it would be the why people came to me. I thought people would think they wanted a coach, and they would research a coach. They knew they wanted the service, and then they might consider me, and then they would choose me, and it would be quite a logical process. I didn't realize, and what I learned would happen was that they would see something that I did, see a post, or meet me, or see me on a speaking stage, sometimes a long time ago, and they would feel like they related to me. They would feel an emotional connection to me, and then they would decide to get coaching just with me. And it was really about me and my brand and how I presented to myself. So I thought I better be intentional about it. And I'd better get strategic about what I do with this brand going forward, because it's really core to my business. So I'm going to talk about today is hopefully a useful framework and a useful way of thinking about how you might approach being intentional about what you put out into the world and how people experience you. And it's particularly designed for people who run businesses like content creators or other coaches or small. You're running your business where you're the face of the business, and you're the kind of a solo operator in that. So we're going to focus really on that, because actually that can feel quite exposing, right? That can feel like it's all on you and you're very much in the public eye. So we're going to talk about that. That's what we're going to talk about today. You may have seen in the description, I'm not your standard webinar lady. I'm not just going to talk at you. I like to do some kind of playful, fun, creative writing exercises. Please don't, some people are like, oh, I'm not a writer, I don't want to do that. That is fine. I totally understand if you feel that way. No one's expecting Shakespeare to be here. It's not a writing class. I'm not trying to make you a great writer. All this is a bit fun. And it might make you think of some of it in a different way. It might make you come at it from a different perspective. So just do what you do your thing, be open and playful with it, and don't expect too much for yourself. And certainly don't expect anyone to be grading your creative writing, because that is not what this is about. It's just about having a bit of fun. Sound good? Great. Okay, and I know that some of you may be quite new to Google Meet, so I want this to be really interactive, so I thought we'd just do a quick overview of some of the features you can use to interact with me during this session. So first of all is the emojis. You can see at the bottom of your screen, you'll see a smiley emoji button. This gives you access to loads of emojis. Please use them freely. Let me know you're there. Let me know how you're feeling. Anyone want to have a go now? Give me some emojis to let me know. Perfect. Good. I got a thumbs up. Yes. Thank you. Woohoo. I love that. Perfect. I think everyone's got their mic off. Do keep your mic off unless you're speaking, and I will invite people to contribute at some point. But if you can, let me see your faces. If for any reason you'd like to keep your camera off, that's fine too. But consider putting your video on, we can all see you, and it makes it feel a bit more personal. I am going to be offering the opportunity to respond to your questions after the session if we don't get to every single question. So what you'll be able to see on the bottom of your screen, on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, is a small grid icon. Now, if you go onto that, you can see an option for Q&A, and there's an option to ask questions. Please feel free to just ask your questions as they come up for you through the session and leave them there, and we'll have them all afterwards. And I am taking accountability now. I'll respond to every question that I can. If I don't get to them all in the session, I'll send them to you via email afterwards. So please do leave your questions as we go. And the Sudor guys team will also be looking at them afterwards. So we'll make sure that we'll get as many responses as we can. I may regret that, but I'm promising to do it now, so hold me to it, guys. If you would like to contribute to the discussion, if you'd like to join in, there'll be points at which I ask you to kind of share stuff or contribute, then please do, to make it fair, use the raise hand feature at the bottom. So you can see it's just on the screen there. The raise hand feature is a little hand, as an icon at the bottom. If you can just show me that you've found it, that would be great. Perfect, thank you, Iran. And then I can have a special queue to make sure that I'm prioritizing the people who are quite quickest, like a buzzer on a game show. And then I'll also be hoping to hear from you via the comments. So you can see also on the bottom right-hand side, similar to Zoom, there's a comment. So I'll be asking you to give me loads of comments, and we'll have some discussions that way as well. So that's some of the ways in which we'll be interacting during the session today. But enough from me for the moment. Let's do a little warm-up. What I'd love to hear from you is using a metaphor. A metaphor is essentially like a single descriptive image that kind of brings to life how you're feeling or brings to life how you're thinking about a situation. Using a metaphor, you can see some examples on the right-hand side. Tell me how you're currently feeling about your personal brand. So just take a couple of minutes, scribble any idea that comes into your head, and if you're up for it, share your favorite in the comments. I love that. Thank you, Nelly. A caterpillar going through a metamorphosis to be a butterfly. So opening yourself up to evolving. That's beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, you feel like you're on stage, you're in the spotlight, but you're not quite sure what to say. I think that's a really familiar feeling. You're juggling delicate crystal glasses, you're trying not to drop them. There's so much going on. Is that kind of feeling overwhelmed? Any others going on there? Yeah, I hear you, Jessica, on that. Oh, man, that's a really beautiful one. That's a really positive one. I really like that. Thank you. Well, thank you for sharing. There's some different perspectives. We've got a sense of struggling to find our voice, struggling to know what to say. Got a sense of, look, I'm still in the caterpillar stage, but I'm learning, I'm open to growing. And also we've got a sense that it can be very intense and you feel like you're juggling a lot of things and you're there's a sense of anxiety and intensity there. So thank you. Hopefully this will help put some clarity around how you might approach it for those of you who are still working on how you can do that effectively. So the first thing that I wanted to say before we go into the kind of framework and the structure for how you might think about it is the importance of kind of not doing it in isolation, of really getting obsessed with whoever your audience is, whoever they are. The first job you ever have to do is get absolutely obsessed with them, not just kind of how old they are or where they are or their location, but who actually are they? When you speak to them and when you do your research, what are the kind of common emotional barriers that they're facing or other kinds of barriers, the common challenges which really, really resonate with them? How are they feeling? What are they really struggling with? What are their hopes and dreams? What are they hoping for, but maybe they're a bit scared of? That's a really big one. What are their circumstances? And where are they in the world? Is it a really global audience? Are you finding a really local community? Really try and get that empathy with them, really understand what's going on for them beneath the skin, listen deeply to that. And then think carefully about the best advice I ever had when I was starting my business by a brilliant woman called Sarah Ellis, who runs Squiggly Careers, which is a really successful, I guess, a content creation business and also a learning business. How can you be helpful to them authentically out of all of the struggles, out of what they're telling you? Where can you really be helpful? Where do you have the credibility in the experience to be really helpful to them? And what would make it easy for them to buy into you, easy for them to engage with you based on what's happening for them? Really take the time to learn about that. Take the time to have it can be as simple as just a lot of conversations and getting even curious whenever you do have an interaction, getting obsessed with the comment section if that's relevant for you. Really think about that. I think I started out when I was in the early stages of my business having a lot of misconceptions about what was going on for my customers and what they were. For example, I thought I'd only work with clients from the tech sector, and actually where I've ended up is that I really found that I really appeal to clients who are entrepreneurs, who are running their own businesses, who are founders of startups and scale-ups. I've appealed to coaches and psychotherapists, and I needed to get much broader about who they actually were, but really understand that they all had something in common. And for me, what they had in common was they all felt like they weren't reaching their potential. And they didn't know how to reach the potential. They didn't know where to start. And once I tapped into that I knew that was what they all had in common. I knew whether you were a coach or whether you were a CEO, whether you worked in a massive company or a small one, all of you felt like you just had this potential, but you weren't able to articulate what to do to reach it or meet it. Then suddenly, actually, that's where I can be helpful. And I know how I can be helpful. And then I could think about what do I talk about myself that resonates with that problem and shows that I understand that problem and shows that I have ways to help solve that problem. So we're going to do a small exercise. We're going to think about, start with whoever your customer is, your audience is. It might be who you want your subscribers to be. It might be who you want to come to a class. It might be if you're a coach, who you'd want your clients to be. Or if you run any other kind of service business, you'd want your clients to be. If you work for a company, it might be who you interact with in your company. But who is your audience? What's going on for them? Let's just start before we do anything else thinking about that. And I would like you to do this quick exercise. So imagine your most loyal fan, and whoever that is, if it's a client, a subscriber, whatever that means to you, whatever's useful for your business. Imagine the most loyal person is sitting opposite the table from you, and they're telling you why your work means so much to them, why it's so important to them, what is the key that really drives that loyalty? What story are they telling you? So what I'd love you to do is just scribble down a quick script, maximum one small paragraph, just a quick script. What are they telling you about, in their voice, about why they're so loyal to you? And then I'm going to check back in kind of 2 or 3 minutes to see where you've got to with that. If when you're ready, you could give me a quick emoji, that would be brilliant. And then I know when most people feel like they're kind of done. Okay, great. It looks like we have some scripts in the house here. So maybe this is a good maybe it's a good chance to hear live. Are there like 1 to 3 brave people who might like share theirs with? Thank you, Iran. Anyone else? Please raise a hand. That would be amazing. Lovely. And we got Iran, Nelly, and Angela. That's perfect. Iran, should we start with you? You were first. Tell us yours. Tell us what your most loyal fan is saying.
You're talking about me? Sorry, I missed you.
I'm talking about you. Yeah.
All right. So thank you for the privilege.
Yes, you're welcome.
I would say that they say that you felt us, you listened to our needs, you treated us with emotional intelligence, you were obsessed with helping us to meet our goals as if they were yours. You are a true team player.
Oh, I love that. What comes out really strongly for me there is like your empathy, like just how empathetic you are, how like people focused you are, and how you like, and actually like genuine care was really like evident in that. That was really beautiful. That can be that's a really powerful thing to put at the core of how you speak, actually. I love it. Thank you for sharing. That's brilliant. Who have we got next? Can I see properly? So I'm just sorting out my mouse here. We got Angela. Angela, I'd love to hear from you.
Hi, I just have my camera off. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, I have this conversation actually pretty frequently with my clients, and often they say that I make them feel seen and heard, that I'm relatable and very empathetic. And so I think they feel seen and supported, and like they're working with a friend and someone who really gets what they're going through rather than just a teacher or a coach.
I love that. Like you're kind of walking beside them.
Yeah,
really empathizing with them. That's beautiful. Do you know what I thought was a really powerful thing that you said there? If I may give you a little bit of feedback.
Yes, please do.
was when you said like they think of me like a friend, not just a teacher or a coach. I thought that was like a really powerful like statement, and it made me like feel something. Just going to share that with you.
Thank you for sharing that.
And Nelly with a lovely smile.
Oh, thank you, Sarah. And thank you for all of this. I'm really enjoying this activity. So I think my clients would say you help inspire me on my good days and bad days. Your content and coaching has taught me how to move my body, love it more, and live with more intention.
Oh, wow. Oh my gosh, I'm really getting the warm fuzzies from these. Those are, like love is a real common theme here, like love and empathy and being seen here. But also I felt like Nelly, yours in particular was like really empowering. It was really like I'm there on the good days and the bad days, and I'm not giving up on you. Like I'm here all through those things. And I really felt like it was really enabling. So thank you for sharing. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to move on. I want to share a framework that I've put together that kind of summarizes how I think about, I guess, my personal brand. And I do a lot of work with people who are thinking about their personal brand, especially business owners or solopreneurs. And what I often find is they come and they're like, oh, Sarah, I need to have 2 hours with you because can you just help me sort out what do I want to do with my website? Or can you help me sort out what do I want to do with my LinkedIn? Or they have a particular platform in mind. Sometimes it's YouTube because I'm ex-YouTube, and they're just like, oh, I just need to know what I'm going to do there. That's what I want to know. But actually what you find is that they haven't started at the beginning. They haven't started at the core of what they need to do when they're thinking about it, which is them and what they're bringing and how they're bringing value and what it is that's special about them. And they're just not clear on that yet. And that's why they're having real trouble thinking about what to do on YouTube or what to do on their website, because they haven't really been thoughtful about who they are and why they do what they do and what kind of stories they want to tell. So the way in which I kind of think about it is there's 3 layers. There's first of all getting really clear on the core, like the heartland of what you do, which is who are you? What are the experiences that have shaped you? What is it that's kind of unique about you and relatable about you? Because I think Angela was saying that. What's relatable about you that makes people feel like you're a friend or someone that is going to lift them up and that gets them and sees them? Why do you do what you do? So your why is really important. Your purpose, your motivator, people relate to that. Your values, your hopes, your dreams, why you're there. People can feel you really seen in that if you're clear about that. Obviously, what you do. And that is not just kind of like your job title or the kind of programs that you do, but it's like what are the outcomes that you bring from a client perspective? What can they expect? What are the outcomes that you're talking about here? Whether it's physical, mental, emotional, whatever they are, all of those things. And then also the how you're doing it, the recipe, right? Which is if you're doing like workouts, I know there's lots of fitness creators here and wellness creators here. The how-tos are really important for you, and I presume you guys are really good at that. But what's unique about it that makes you different from other people who are doing it? What's your unique methodology? What do you bring to it that makes it feel like an experience that like you could only get if you were with you? What is that? What's your how? So we're going to talk more about that in a minute, and we're going to focus on that. Then thinking about, once you've got clear on that, how you express that. So that's your tone of voice, how you communicate, the visuals you use, your colors, your font, all of those things, your editing style, the stories you tell, and the actions you take. So who you partner with and who you don't choose to partner with, all of those things are important in terms of how you express that core. And then Doreen is going to talk a little bit later about then where people experience you and where you choose to be, which is hopefully should coincide with where your audience is as well. And that might be your kind of website, your app strategy, your socials, events, all of these things. But, to kind of casual meetings, or for me, actual conversations, because I do a lot of coaching conversations. So how are people experiencing you where you are, and where do you want to show up? Where do you want to be? And then you can get intentional about that if you've done the work on your core. So hopefully this is helpful, a helpful framework to help you kind of think it through systematically. And maybe you can already answer a lot of these questions, in which case, amazing. You can feel really good that you're doing an amazing job. I think there are 3 things that I think are important when you're thinking about it, which is the first is that I actually had a client say today something about this, which was that he was just starting a business and he was like, I don't want to put a mask on. Like, I don't want to pretend I see all these people pretending that they're the greatest ever, pretending that they're the best at what they do. And I I don't want to do that. I don't want to say that. Like, it doesn't feel truthful. And I was like, well, you shouldn't try and say anything you don't think is truthful. Just be authentic and, you know, grasp your strengths. Sometimes talk about what you're not so good at, and that can help people make a decision. Know what you do and you don't do well, and be authentic about it. Consistency obviously is so important. The most successful YouTubers we saw weren't the ones who always did the best, but they were so consistent. They showed up all the time, every day. They were consistent in the quality. They were consistent in what people could expect from them. Even for me now, running a service business, some of my clients take 12 months to sign up with me. And so showing up kind of twice a week, every week, while they're following, helps make that decision and helps me stay in touch with them while they're doing it. And then just also be experimental, have some hypotheses, have some fun, and test out what works and what doesn't, and be a little playful with it. I wanted to break down the who, why, what, and how a little bit more for you. On the who, some things that you can think about that might be great to talk about are your origins, like where you came from, what shaped you, your values, what you believe in, what you think is true, and also your experiences, the things that you've done in your life, the things that kind of make you relatable and also make you credible, like make people see that you're really qualified and that you've kind of either you've walked the walk yourself, or that you've had experiences that they can relate to or would aspire to. So all of these things, particularly if you've got stories around like what you've overcome to get somewhere, or what inspired you about where you've come from to be where you are, or give you the insight that makes you who you are. These are all really powerful stories. Your why, you might talk about your purpose. If you're really vocational about what you do, if you've always been really good at it and you just love it and you love expressing it, that's when you talk about that. And what motivates you and how you stay motivated, and how you keep that fire going, all really good things to talk about in the why. The what, talk about the impact both for you and for other people. So what's the impact that you find from doing the work you do? And then what's the impact you help deliver for other people? And then your how, what are your unique methods? What are your kind of top tips? And then your how-tos. How are you doing that, showing that in a way that's consistently shows that what you do and the way you do it, and showcases that to the best that it can be. So your who, your why, your what, and your how, I'm going to give you a little exercise to do to think about those things. And what I'm going to ask you to do is choose one of these exercises. You don't have to do all of them. Just choose whichever one you think you could play with a little bit more than the others. And I've written a different one for each quadrant. So choose which one speaks to you most. Have a go at writing them down. And in 5 minutes, so at kind of 5:36 or something like that, we'll going to put you into pairs, and you're going to have a chance to share it with a partner and just see how it feels. So have a go at that. Have a go at writing that down. Choose the one that resonates with you most. Karina, welcome. We're just scribbling down, choosing one of these exercises, which Mimi like to do, which says something about who you are, or why you do what you do, or what you help your clients achieve, or what your how is. Just some fun creative writing exercises. If you would like to have a go, and then we're going to share them in pairs in a couple of minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to ask Doreen to do now is just put you in pairs. And when you're in your pairs, what I would love you to do is just, if you're not quite there, you haven't quite finished it, don't worry, is just share whatever you have from that exercise with each other, with your pair. And if you, when the other person's telling you, just please just really listen to them and be present with them while they're telling you what they have. Does that sound good? We go and do a little bit of pairs, meet some people in the room. Thank you, Doreen. Obviously, Doreen, leave me out of the pairs. That'd be great.
Yeah, I'm working on it. I can't choose everyone for some reason. Some are disconnected. Okay, there we go.
Okay, awesome. See you in 5 minutes. Did you manage to get everyone into them, Doreen? I think some people are still here.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay. I think some, yeah, some have managed to get into like breakouts, and some of them, some of them are still here. Okay, well, let's just do this. If you're still
I'm gonna join breakout 2. Nelly is on her own.
Okay, great. Who have we got left? Mark, else? Would any of you like to share with me? Now we're in the room, we're a much smaller group. Any of you want to share? Well, would like to share what you took out of that, if anything?
I would. I've actually just got this whole thing written down in my Notion, and I'm trying to log into my Notion to share it with you.
Bless you.
And it just won't let me log in. So I will in like a minute.
Oh yeah, I'd like to. I'll hang out.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to those who are joining. Most people are in breakout rooms right now, just sharing a little bit about this exercise which we've been doing. We're going to come back in a couple of minutes and debrief and carry on with the session.
All right. Okay, I found it.
You got 8 seconds while they're coming back.
Oh
so
my God, no. Okay, 8
Sorry.
seconds. Okay, there we go.
Look, I'm rushing you now.
It's okay. It's okay.
Tell me to come back in, unless you'd like. I don't want to sit in front of the whole room, in which case that's also fine.
Oh yeah. No, it was just basically my once upon a time, actually.
Okay.
But anyway, should I not?
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Okay, so it's like once upon a time, I was a professional dancer performing at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. My body was my instrument, and the pressure to look a certain way was relentless. But it wasn't until I trained clinically in Pilates that I realized strength feels far sexier than aesthetic. I created Calf to help women stop obsessing over looking good and instead feel powerful, sculpted, and strong through smart, effective movement.
Oh wow, that was wonderful. Thank you so much. It was amazingly well thought out for such a short period of time. I love that. Thank you. I wanted to just ask.
I had it pre-written, actually.
Did you? Oh wow.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I didn't just make that up then.
Okay, I was like, she did really well for the 2 minutes.
No.
I
I was trying to find it. I was like, where is that? Yeah.
Again, I know 5 minutes is not long. I'm sorry, we've only got an hour today, and I want to make sure Doreen's got some amazing examples to show you, which I think will be really helpful. So I really want to make sure we have time for that. But I did want to ask, I've got time to hear from like 1 or 2 people. Was there anything that you heard from your partner, from the person you're speaking to, anything you heard from them that you'd really want to just shout out that really stuck with you or inspired you in some way? Anyone got anything to share about that? Doreen's got
So I was in a breakout room with Nelly, and honestly, so she shared her story of origin, and I felt so empowered, and my heart just opened up, and it was just like, it's like there's that song like "Who Runs the World, Girls." That's a song that came up. So thank you so much for sharing. It was truly empowering.
I love that. Thank you so much. And that's actually a really good exercise to do, is just if you're thinking about like a positioning or testing, just find people and say like, can I tell you the story, and then how did it make you feel, what do you remember about it? It's a great way to kind of just test what sticks and then what it is that sticks with people. So there's a nice little exercise. I'm going to hand over to Doreen now. Thank you for staying with me. We've talked a little bit about that core in the middle, the who, why, the what, and the how. I hope that's a useful framework to you. Where Doreen is going to now talk a little bit more is great examples of creators on the platforms and how they're doing it really well and executing that really well, which will hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration. So thank you so much for having me, and I'm going to hand over.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And guys, obviously this was like a little mini taster of what it means to actually start like looking inside and finding out who you are and what your brand is. So yeah, just obviously you can go much, much, much deeper into that. But I just want to quickly summarize what actually happens when you're very clear on what your brand is and your value. And I think the 4 key themes that I see, I think the very first one is you start to actually attract your right audience, the people that actually care about you, the people who want to buy your offers. That's number 1. Number 2, you start building trust, and trust builds loyalty. So the moment you have that trust, you can actually start selling your offers, or people come back to you. They want to stay with you. They want to learn from you. So you really become like a role model to them or a teacher to them. Number 3, you start making money. But I think what happens when you build a very strong and clear brand identity is you start earning without it actually feeling like you have to constantly sell yourself. It comes natural. It's not forced. And that then leads me to number 4. When you have a strong brand identity, you build a foundation to scale and to build on top of that. And I always believe that, yeah, it is possible to make money very, very quick. But generally, that's not sustainable growth because you don't have the foundation that you built. So from here, I just wanted to share with you 2 of our creators that they've been incredibly successful with their apps. And both of them have a very, very strong brand identity, but they're completely different. So I'm going to start with DP Fit by Danielle Piscante. So she was a fitness instructor. She did a lot of 101, and she very, very quickly hit the limit. She couldn't scale her business. She couldn't make more money. So she decided, hey, I want to go online, and I like I think she was quite big already on Instagram, had a lot of followers, but she was like, I want to own it. I want to own my platform. I want to own my income. I want to know how much I can make at the end of the month and not depend just on sponsorship and on ads. So she built an app with us that is focused around like HIIT workouts and strengths training. Her subscription is from $39.99 per month, and she has over 1,000 subscribers. So, I mean, if you make the math, it's like 4,000 every month that she has like in recurring revenue. And while, I mean, I'll ask you, you can like use the comments or raise your hand. What do you think makes her stand out just seeing 3 pictures of her app?
It's super clean.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like clean and she's bright and fun.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that gives like very clear brand identity of like what she's about. You kind of get it just based on these 3 photos.
What kind of people do you think she attracts? What audience?
Women.
Women, trendy people, young people who want to be fit, who care about how they look. And that's her audience. That's what she wanted to attract. She didn't want to attract big male guys, right? So that's exactly the right brand for her. And I'm going to show you a very different example. It's Kate's Own Your Menopause. It's an app that is everything around menopause, and includes workouts, meditations, recipe. Her subscription is much, much cheaper, which also shows it's available probably to more people, a different audience. It's £16.99. Again, over 1,000 subscribers, so you can do the math again, how much recurring income she has every month. And I mean, I put it here. Hers looks very authentic and real. And actually want you to go to the next slide and show you how she started, what kind of videos she had. So that was her in the initial days, literally next to her washing machine, doing her workouts. And people loved it. They were blurry. The quality was not incredible compared to DP Fit that invested a lot in like having high quality videos from the beginning. But one or the other is not better or worse. Both of them can work. And she attracts people who are very like real. A lot of mothers, they are maybe postpartum or in their menopause already, and they want to feel good about themselves. They don't want to look at someone who looks perfect like Daniel Piscante. So that's her audience. And so if you go to the next slide, what I love about both of them, they're so different, but both of them have a huge followership, and they have a very clear value proposition. So if you look on the left, it's I help you believe in your damn self. And then on the right, you have Kate, and she says, I help women over 35 build strength. And like it also like showcases that she's been on BBC and she's a big public figure. So both of them show the value proposition, but the content is very different. They show up differently, but both of them succeed a lot with their own apps. Do you have any questions about these 2 apps or about Sudor in general before I go towards the end of the presentation? Anything that comes up?
Well, just so did they have a like a substantial amount? Was their following already that size, or did their following increase once they had the app?
Yeah, both. Mm-hmm. We literally see everything. We have creators that start with 1,000, 2,000, but then when they start like building their own app, everything increases. So it's not necessarily, oh, you have a huge followership and now you want to build your own app. It can even be like the other way around. And you don't always need a huge followership to build a successful app, right?
No, but I was just like wondering what their 2 examples were. So if they already had like a substantial following, so somebody who's only had like 2,000 followers, like what type of growth like have you seen with them?
Yeah. So Daniel Piscante, I know she had quite a big followership. I know Alexis and Emma are also on the call. They worked with them from the beginning. So if they are here and want to unmute themselves briefly, they're welcome to share.
Kate's had a lot of growth on Instagram. I can't remember what her exact numbers were, but she built her app with us in 2022. She was one of the first apps that we did. And I could be wrong, but it was kind of around the sort of, I actually don't even know if it was even 10,000 followers, but I can't remember exactly. But she's just, I think like Doreen said, she's authentic, but she's also like really consistent, which is like one of the things that Sarah mentioned, like right at the very beginning. And before she even kind of had that audience, she actually started off just doing live workouts on Instagram. I think she said she's done like over 5,000 live workouts or something for free over the time, or it might have been 1,000. I can't remember. It was a lot.
Thanks, Emma.
Welcome.
So helpful. I was thinking about that with lives on Instagram. So yeah, that's so helpful. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think what unites both, right, in the end of the day is they were already present, they had lives, they were on YouTube, but what they really, the biggest value they got out of having an own app is for them and also for their audience is they now had everything in their own app that they own. They can upload all their lives, they can upload all the videos, the community nurturing, the push notifications, and it's really all yours, and it's a subscription app. So you know more or less at the end of every month how much income you have. So yeah. Good. So that brings me towards the end of the presentation. And now obviously there's some people here in the webinar that are like, hey, I'm ready to build my own app, or I've been wanting to build it, or I'm thinking of it. Then there's maybe others that wanted to join for other reasons, which is completely fine. But we wanted to put it out there that we have a very exclusive offer for everyone who joined the webinar, and namely for new creators that haven't built an app with us yet. If you are interested, we really want to encourage you to get in touch with us this month, because if you are going to build an app with us this month, we're offering you a free 2-hour 101 brand clinic with Sarah. It's worth £295. So you're going to get to work with Sarah 101, pick her brain, get feedback, and really also learn from, obviously she didn't talk much about it today, but her work with YouTubers and creators and what made them successful, and just get very tailored support there. So I'll show you now how you can get in touch with us. But then also for existing creators, if some of you are on the call, we obviously also want to encourage you to work together with Sarah. So if you are interested in learning more and work together with her, we want to offer you a £50 discount for any of her services. And if you go now to the next slide, I was very proud. I experimented with some QR codes. So you can literally take your phone now. On the left-hand side, it allows you to book a 15-minute discovery call with our team, where you can ask all the questions, figure out if Sudor, if your own app is actually a good match. And then on the right-hand side, you can scan Sarah's website and learn more about her offering, get in touch with her, and just let us know that if you want to work with her this month, just make sure to let us both know, so we kind of know who came through the webinar. So we're coming to an end. We do have a few more questions before we're all going to get kicked out, because it's a 1-hour call. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself, use the comments. And if you don't have any questions, I would love to hear from you also, maybe in the comments, if this was useful, what you're taking away from this workshop, just because it was the first time we did it, and we'd love your feedback and see how we can improve.
I have to go, but I just wanted to say thank you. This was a really great call, and I'll be booking a discovery call. So thanks, guys.
Thank you, Angela. Lovely to meet you.
Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. Bye, guys. Bye. Lovely to meet you all.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Doreen. That was awesome.
Thank you, Emma. Thanks, guys. Lovely to see you.
Thanks everyone for joining as well. Lovely to meet everyone.
Thank you for your time and your inputs. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
I mean, I think we're going to get kicked out in a minute because some people were in when I joined at 2 minutes to.
We did actually start early. Let's see if it
Guys.
picked up.
Thanks, guys.
Most of them, I think, is this
It's
just
just us left.
okay. I know a few people left. I don't think it was everyone's cup of tea, but there were like a small number of highly engaged people. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome.
Yeah, Alexis, how did you find it as
So
a
great.
spectator?
So good. Yeah, I was like taking part writing for myself. So great.
Just
Honestly.
scribbling away. Good.
Yeah, it was
What
honestly
did you write? I'm curious now.
me. I know, it's my own stuff.
Oh, that's sweet.
I'm too shy. I wrote so much stuff. I've got like 2 pages of.
Yeah, there was a wave that dropped out when we went into the breakout groups.
People get nervous.
So people get
Yeah,
nervous.
well, yeah, that's they're obviously used to doing a webinar where they just sit back, put their camera off, and I think the interaction really spooked them.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether there's something about like, do they actually not want that? Do they just want like straight info? It's a good experiment, but I don't think some of them loved it. A small group loved it, but I noticed the interaction bit when they were like, oh, she wants me to speak and discuss. They were like, no.
I had to break out with Nelly, and she's not with us yet, and she was like, this is so good, and this really like sets you apart from other companies because that really creates value. So she really loved it.
Amazing.
Hey, I loved her. And then the
It was
kitchen
beautiful, like the beautiful smile.
she's like, it's really nice when you're facilitating and you've got someone like that, because she's like all the way through.
Yeah. I thought she knew you. I actually thought she knew you, Sarah.
No, she didn't know me. She was just lovely.
Wow,
I think she
that
was
was
just like a lovely person. But I find that like it's always helpful if you're like speaking, you've got that one person in the front who's like, they got your back. It gives you a bit of, especially when
I
around.
was so nervous in the beginning, and then Eran, he's a kind of a friend of mine. I know him from Google, and then he joined one of Sarah's workshop after I posted it, and he was like our biggest cheerleader, and it really made me look so
He's so sweet. He's like bouncing on his seat. You need one of him in every single thing you do, don't you? Just to be like,
he's awesome.
Yeah.
His smile.
Yeah, he's just got a lot of energy, a lot of love, that man. He lights up the room.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Well, guys, it was a pleasure. Like, do you want to I'll let you know if I hear anything from anybody, and then you let me know if you hear anything from anybody. And if you want to debrief or give any feedback, then please feel free.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Thank you so
I
much.
left it now, but definitely let's connect tomorrow. I'll send out the recording. I think this is still being recorded, so I need to
Oh, yeah, edit this. Oh, whoops. Sorry.
check actually.